video.
Rolling.
Okay.
Federal Postal Court, here on this day, on December 20th, 2016, corporation case number RE 946-007-424 US. This is the fee's been paid for the bills of the ladies for the transportation of the contracts to board this foreign vessel in dry dock. We have a level playing field here today. Everybody's on the same field and everybody has the same chance. We have a summons where a fee has been paid for freight for closure on 3-day mailing, 3-day rescission for a quo rental complaint, Federal Postal Court venue, to be hearing to be held here today on the 20th of December 2016. I'm the Federal Postal Court Judge, Russell-J. Gould, and right now I'm looking at the summons, calling for the parties to board the vessel. Claimant Pamela-Annette Horton.
Present. Here.
Yeah. The contestants in this, you're contesting in this particular case, a Richard Galatine, a Ryan Remington, Adrina Rivas, Bank of America, San Joaquin Assessor Recorder, County Clerk, Steve J. Bestelardis, and United States Postal Service, Sue Y. Tam. Are you here on this day? You are not. The fee's been paid for the bills of the lading to hold this court as a Federal Postal Court.
Continue.
That docked the Federal Postal Court, David-Wynn, Miller, and myself. The fee's been paid for the bills of the lading with the nearest post office to this location, and as well as the nearest port authority in Stockton, California. The addresses for those mail locations for my Federal Postal Judge's Oath are California Port Authority, 2201 West Washington Street, number 13, Stockton, California, 95203, and the nearest foreign postal station, Post Road Treaty at 120 South School Street, Lodi, California, 95240. My oath is on file, coming forth from the Benjamin Franklin Postal Station from a 1775 nativity, where David-Wynn, Miller, and myself, with ship's paper number RR294568221 US, have authorized the opening of the nativity of the Benjamin Franklin Postal Court. We have a sea pass, a sea treaty, and drogue law with establishment of our Federal Postal Court system. And here's the fees for freight for the California territory of my federal docketing of my Federal Judge's Oath, as well as docketing the vessel's summons and the vessel lawsuit, which the claimant Pamela-Annette Horton has boarded the vessel. We have registered this, and everything is correct on closure for mailing and rescission to have the Vassalese. We don't use the word defendants, but we use the word Vassalese, which is a servant employee of the contract. At this time, I'm going to log into the evidence, the summons, The bills of the latings, for the summons, the federal judge's oath on this date in the open market federal postal court venue, as well as the lawsuit, filing into evidence. The federal postal court does the mechanics of grammar. Here's a word syntax code. We have adverbs which come in front of verbs, adverbs which come in front of adjectives, adverbs which come in front of adjectives which come in front of pronouns. On the co-oriental complaint in the summons and the oaths, we have a preposition, a allodial set, and a fact. And we have the verb of thinking within our syntax, and we break down the parsé of communication. At this time, I'm going to once again call for the Vossalees, Richard Gallatin, Ryan Remington, Adrina Rivas, Bank of America, San Joaquin County, Steve J. Vestalaredos, he's the Assessor, County Recorder Clerk, as well as the United States Postal Service, Sue Y. Tam. Are you here? Not yet? At this time, we're going to look at the evidence that has been just recently filed into this court hearing. But before we do that, in our Constitution, which are the rules and the regulations in which this court hearing is moving, we have document claim, Constitution Article 7, for the witnessing person of the witnessing testimony is with the person of the correct sentence structure, communication, parsé, syntax, grammar's knowledge claim by the personal self-claims. What this means is that since the fee's been paid for freight, for the transshipment, for the contracts to be here, which is legal and lawful with the Benjamin Franklin Postal Court, and the timelines and the evidence filing in the fees for freight, giving the 3-day mailing and 3-day receipt territory of the California, we are going to have a open market trade port forum testimonial for the transshipment of the contracts for a self-testimony, and an open market trade port forum testimonial porting. You'll witness in this trial that the witness and the claimant who's going to give testimony has already autographed an oath in the Constitution. So we're going to comply with the Constitution claims for the rules and guidelines of the performance of this hearing. In the oath itself, when you look at the paragraph 10, it talks about for the document court or contract federal postal station federal court venue performance of these claimants is with the contract performance oath claims of this correct communication, parsé, syntax, grammar performance with these written contract claims, testimony, which is a public closure with the correct sentence structure, communication, parsé, syntax, grammar oath in this open market trade port trial summons closure and ships papers with the correct facts with the performances by the claimant. Knowledge and performance. Pamela-Annette Horton will be speaking in adverb scenarios. But so it is written, so shall it be. Because her capacity and the capacity of the audience that is here doesn't have the education to hear correct communication, parsé, syntax, grammar speak. We call it quantum speak. And the feds and the judicial system of this contract have comprehension on how to use that, but the claimant does not. So she's going to be giving testimony about her navigating her vessel testimony in this forum. And the claimant who's going to give testimony has already autographed an oath in the Constitution. So we're going to comply with the Constitution claims for the rules and guidelines of the performance of this hearing. In the oath itself, when you look at the paragraph 10, it talks about for the document court or contract federal postal station federal court venue performance of these claimants is with the contract performance oath claims of this correct communication parse syntax grammar performance with these written contract claims testimony, which is a public closure with the correct sentence structure communication parse syntax grammar oath in this open market trade port trial summons closure and ships papers with the correct facts with the performances by the claimant. Knowledge and performance. Pamela-Annette Horton will be speaking in adverb scenarios. But so it is written, so shall it be. Because her capacity and the capacity of the audience that is here doesn't have the education to hear correct communication parse syntax grammar speak. We call it quantum speak. And the feds and the judicial system of this contract have comprehension on how to use that, but the claimant does not. So she's going to be giving testimony about her navigating her vessel and then logging into evidence the fictitious grammar that she has found to show up in her vessels. So at this time, I'm going to take the oath backwards to Pamela. And we're going to interchange the prepositions. So I'm going to take down some things and we're going to do some sentence structure things to make sure Pamela has knowledge of what she's doing here. So it is written, so shall it be. Because 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4. Because TO plus TO doesn't equal FORE. And TWO plus TOO doesn't equal FOR. Point being, so it is written, so shall it be. But because of the circumstances of your scenario, of our Constitution contract, you have the right of self-witnessing here and giving testimony in this forum. Okay? So the oath that you have taken that you wrote, and I'll show you the math interface here real quick. You had a fact going in. And the mirror image of that is a fact going out. So what goes in must come out. So your establishment of a fact. So the fact comes in and the fact goes out. So we're going to place a value here of a 7, which is a fact on what goes in and what comes out. 1 plus 2 equals 3. The opposite to check that is 3 minus 2 equals 1. What comes in comes out. So your oral testimony, so it is written, so shall it be, is what we're going to prove here. So we're going to show you how to take an oath. So frontwards and backwards, you have certification that you're correct. Okay? And it's my job to give you closure as a federal postal judge for the facts and the performance of the syntax for your oath before I can take your testimony in the federal postal court forum. So what goes in must come out. So you have written and certified facts. Well, what comes in front of the fact? A 6. Because the Lodial set article commands the authority of the fact. And the other thing that you've used here in your writing style, in your evidence, is you've used conjunctions. They also come in front of facts. So there's 2 things that come in front of facts. In our math problem here, what comes in front of the fact? Well, nothing on this end except the mirror what comes in. So we have the equal sign, and we're going to place a value to that of a set, Lodial set, and a value of a conjunction. And I'm just going to put a 0 here. 0 equals conjunction. So you can see what comes in front of the communication that you've chosen to use. So what comes in, comes out. I guess I could write it this way. Well, we have a plus and a plus 2 and a minus 2 left in the equation here. So when we look at the sentence that has been written here, the sentence is for the document contract, so we're going to look at what comes in. The preposition is opposite, so we're going to take the prepositions as we do our oath backwards to give it a value of authority for a performance in your testimony and in the things that we log into evidence as we move through your circumstances in your specific case. Please know that in each specific case, there's no continuance of the evidence from case law from another case in our charter vessel court right here. Court's a closed area. We have a corporation contract. Title 28, 6 document contract claim section 636. We do not use the styles of format of syntax of the United States federal codes, because in the United States federal codes, they use adverbs in front of verbs, adverbs in front of adjectives, and adverbs in front of adjectives and pronouns, creating no facts. All 4 million laws, rules, regulations, and policies and statutes in the United States Code are fictitiously conveyed in violation of Title 18, Document Contract Claim Section 101 or 1001, which is in your performance on your contract. So as we take this backwards, we're going to interchange the prepositions to show a value. So we're going to take this sentence backwards real quick. So instead of for the claimant, or by the claimant, we're going to take the opposite of for, which is by, right? So we're going to place, what's the opposite of plus and minus? They're opposites. This function here, we're going to make our preposition. We're prepositioning with then creating the set to do your establishment of your fact. Okay? So the plus and the minus get a value of the preposition. I'm just going to go down because I can't come across, so I apologize about that. This is a hyphen here for those that will watch this at a later time. I guess I can try it this way, but it's kind of cumbersome. I apologize about that. Then what's left to look at here will be the verb of thinking. The thinking is the performance that you convey, but the thinking will never change the condition of the act. So which is a value here, and this will be our verb. And I'm going to show you how to move that within the construct of your oath. Okay, so I want you to think about this. So now when we look at the opposite of by the claimant, we're going to take the sentence backwards. So when we look at the opposite of by, it's for. So it will be for the claimant. And what does the claimant possess? In your specific case, you're conveying when you give testimony knowledge of your memory of what you were being a witness of, which is in compliance of our Constitution, Document Contract Claim Section 7, which is in your lawsuit. Okay? So you have, for the claimants, what do you possess first? You possess knowledge. So if you can't establish knowledge, you can't move forward in this world. Or it's very difficult to. Let me just say that. And what else is at the end of the sentence here? For the knowledge, which is performance, which is the movement of your knowledge through comprehension from establishing your memory to create a volition to convey facts, is what you're going to convey, even though you're doing it in an adverb-verb scenario with your oratory. Knowledge, performance. So as we take this sentence backwards, the opposite of with is of. So you have, knowledge, which establishes contracts. Sorry, I apologize. I didn't see the other prepositional phrases here. You created a compound fact here. So knowledge creates contract. Contract creates corporate creates a corporation between, because you're using stamps, you're filing corporation cases with the postal system. But the postal system was a basilee in this case, so this is a very solitary condition of state for your specific needs. So we're showing a trial for those specific needs, okay? So you have a contract. Once you have the contract, you create a corporation. When you and I autograph the postage stamps and you pay fee for freight for the movement and shipping of your contracts, oops. At that point, you create a performance, which will be your testimony here. So as we take the sentence backwards, to be frontwards and backwards certification, at that point where the opposite of with is of. And then it says, as these correct facts. Not as the correct, but you're going to be with the correct facts, which is what you are giving testimony to here today, with what you witnessed as a witness, witnessing these things interact in these vessels to come in and out in motion, in and out of your life. With the correct facts. Then you have many compound phrases here. The opposite of with the written contract claims is of the contract claims. And I'm not for the speediness of this, I'm not going to write that all out. Okay, but what I'm showing you is that you're using the math formula to change and make things frontwards and backwards certifiable to you so that you can create a performance when it's time for you to cooperate with the commands of the judgment, right? So this is very valuable to know as you move forward in the closure if you run back into the basilees. The basilees pop up into your world, right? Because you've already taken the oath. You've already have the document contract claim. We will go public with this so that people have the necessary full closure. And then at the end of the sentence, I'm just going to skip ahead to the end of the sentence, you have the verb. In this specific case, it's is, because you're is, so you would go is, which is the thinking that takes place within this formula. It's a singular thinking, because in this specific case, the document contract federal postal court venue performance is only valid for your testimony of your facts with your correct facts. Okay? So you have with the claimant's knowledge, by the court, because the court, document contract postal vessel court, because the court, which is the paperwork, the corporation, the vessel, created you a sea lane, a ship's channels to navigate your witnessing on the vessel. So, with that, I will turn this over to your testimony. I don't know, Robert, if you want to move this over here. Is that the necessary closure that you need? Do you have any questions? Okay, so you have closure. That's the main. Okay, stop for a second. We will take a 5-minute break. Federal Postal Court is going to turn the testimony over to the claimant, Pamela-Annette Horton, and she is going to speak and modify her facts because she does not have the capacity to use quantum speech here today. However, the written contract and in her circumstances, I had to create this forum for her to give her testimony, which is in compliance of my Constitution and her Constitution, which she is boarding our now time scenario. As she boards our now time scenario, my duty is not to tell her that she's doing something right or wrong. My duty is to make sure that the grammar is correct and to make sure that the sequence of vessel movements is correct. And I have authorization to do that as a Postmaster-General of my Benjamin Franklin Postal Court venue, which I certified in Bern, Switzerland on June 8th, 2003 with a meeting with the top postal employees of the planet about the scenario that I had created and how to give clearance to those citizens out here that search out correctness and want to be truthful in their performance to create their world. So I cannot interfere with their world. I can only give closure on syntax and foreign vessel correctness. So at this time, I'm going to turn the Federal Postal Court market into an open market trade port forum testimonial porting, where we're going to log in evidence of this trial of the foreign vessel closure. Pamela, claimant Pamela-Annette:Horton.
Now turn it toward me.
Okay. In October,
Which year?
2015, I located an abandoned vessel. Abandoned vessel. And wanted to open that for shipping and become my vessel, and continued to watch the foreign vessel. There was no activity there. So on April 7th of 2016, I filed my posting of abandonment, mailed it through the Postal Service with registered number RE946007424 US.
Would you like me to log that into evidence today?
Yes, I would.
Okay. I witnessed, as a federal postal judge, that Pamela-Annette:Horton autographed the stamps on the registered mail slip. Continue.
Yes. Mailed that to myself at that location, that foreign vessel location.
Yes.
And then went to the county, San Joaquin County.
Yes, the Vasily Stephen J. Bastilleros, the county assessor, recorder's office, the clerk. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I did. And they refused to accept my filing.
I have a question. Did you have postage stamp on your vessel?
Yes, I did.
So fee was paid for freight to move it into that vessel. Was there also a flag on that vessel?
Yes, there was.
So the flag sets the venue for the terms of the manifest for those who choose to come into contract with you. So Steve J. Bastilleros made a choice not to come into contract with you.
Yes.
Okay. So what did you do next?
So next I received at the foreign vessel a letter correspondence from the court, from the clerk.
The Vasily Stephen
Yes.
J. Bastilleros?
Yes,
Okay.
at that foreign vessel location that I was docking.
So let me get this straight. He would not log your paperwork into his vessel to journal it as your vessel being your vessel, and yet he mails things to your vessel?
Yes.
Would you like me to log that into evidence?
Yes, I would.
No problem. There is that record.
here it is, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. We got facts being used as adjectives.
Yes,
We've got facts being used like pronouns.
yes.
Oh no, this is fictitious grammar. Huh. Okay, we will log that into evidence for you. Well, let's take a look at what it may or may not say real quick. Would you mind if I take this to the board and put a,
Yes.
put a sentence up and see what kind of grammar that they're trying to articulate to you?
Yes, please.
So, we're just going to do captions. A caption is, it comes under the Document Contract Claims Section 10A, which is the modification world calls it the Federal Rules Civil Procedure 10A. It sets the venue of location. Okay, it's typically on top of the paperwork. Okay, and then that'll tell you where it's coming from and what it. So let's take a look at that. So we have San Joaquin County. Now, in this condition of state, Pamela, we have the concept of a fact coming together. Okay? We have San Joaquin, which is supposed to be facts. However, in this specific content, which I am witnessing here today, it lacks the hyphen, which acts as a transient action to create a compound fact. So now San becomes an adjective, which is a 3, Joaquin becomes a 3, and county becomes a 4. Now, when we look at the function of what an adjective of San could mean, it could be that trash can right there. It could be this letter right here. There's no closure on this, which violates Title 46, Chapter 1, Section 1, closure. So there's no closure. So this is fiction under violation of Title 18, Document Contract Claims, Section 1001. However, we have made the claims on the lawsuit of Title 18, 1001. So we can stop and correct under Title 42, 1986, this is fraud. There's no cooperation, there's no participation, there's no joinder. And when you look at the rules of the continuance of the evidence, which is who's taking accountability for the performance here, nobody has signed or authorized the bottom. So there is no assignment to you of authority. And yet, strange as it may be, they mailed it back to your foreign vessel location. So Pamela, please continue. This is fraud, 100%.
Okay.
Okay. So what happened next?
So after I received
Exception.
excuse me?
Re means no.
Right.
So exception.
After
Reception
reception of this,
vessel.
yes, this vessel, which was fiction,
Fiction, yes.
I then recorded, paid my fee for freight, used the same reference number, and filed
Corporation number.
yes, and filed a non-abandonment of the foreign vessel, stating that I would not abandon it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Okay, I then mailed my filings out, paid my fee for freight. Also went back to the recorder office, and they once again refused to accept my filing.
Okay. And you had a postage stamp on there?
Yes,
Would you like me to submit that contract into evidence today?
yes I would. Then received at the foreign vessel,
Exception.
at the Deception, yes, at the foreign vessel, another communication from them
Yes.
that they were refusing to file.
Okay. And so what did you do at that time?
So my only recourse was then to,
Not recourse.
course,
Solution.
my only solution was to file with the Port Authority.
Oh, the Port Authority, yes. And so what were some of the mechanics that you used when filing with the Port Authority?
I signed my stamp,
Autographed your stamp?
autographed it. I paid my fee for freight
Oh, good for you.
with a silver
Oh,
ingot.
okay. Did they keep that silver bar?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
So they accepted. They then received it.
Okay.
So, and they didn't send me acknowledgement of that, but they did keep it. Yes.
Did you ever get something back in the mail from them?
No.
Okay, so they're in what we call that joinder with your silver, and it's docking on their vessel to dock your vessel as a foreign vessel, non-abandonment, for you to be the postmaster in that location. Is that what I'm comprehending you've done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, did you file anywhere else as far as the abandonment?
Yes. Yes. I did. I filed with the postmaster.
Oh, the postmaster.
Yes.
Was it the nearest postmaster in your location?
Yes. Yes. In Lodi.
In Lodi. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And again, you paid fee for freight?
Yes, I did. Signed the stamp.
Did you ever receive anything from the post office? Because we have the claimants, the Bossalese down here. So who specifically did you send that to with the National Guard?
Okay, so my mailing went to Command Sergeant Major Harold E. London, Policy and Liaison Sergeant Wolkenhauer. Also went to Major General Commander 40th Infantry Division Lawrence A. Haskins, and the Brigadier General Commander Sylvia R. Crockett.
This is in California.
Yes.
And you chose to go then because you felt threatened, or what set you in that direction?
The courts were closed to me. I had no other course.
Okay. Okay. Were you have other Bossalese on there?
Yes.
Can you tell me about those Bossalese? Because those, if you file those, we don't have those people named as Bossalese in this specific case.
Mm-hmm.
But if they have knowledge that's relevant to your testimony, that's a different thing. Okay.
Okay.
So what we want to do is we don't really want to talk about them. We want to talk about the paperwork and the vessels that came to your vessel to put you in that direction. You were.
Okay, so I was in the foreign vessel after paying all my fees for freight, and there was a notice posted on the vessel that stated the vessel that there was a posting that there was going to be a sale.
Well, I would. Do you have a copy? Did you get any documents that came upon people posting things posting? Do we have that?
Yes, we do.
Would you like to submit that as evidence?
Yes, I would.
Or place that into evidence?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so what do we have there for that?
Okay.
This is what you, oh, okay, this is the Vassilies that have been added to your, yes, yes,
Yes.
there we go. So we can look at that right there. Okay, so you have a document that came to your vessel, but the document itself is using fraudulent grammar again.
Yes.
And if you'll witness that when they write statements and phrases, they do not use periods in any of these locations. You see that?
Yes.
When you don't use a period, that's what's called a wrong complete sentence, right? This is a fraudulent, this is not a sentence, this is not a legal statement, because the period stops the thought, which means that there would have to be thinking that took place in order to do establishment of that sentence. But it's not a sentence, because there's no periods on this document. Since there's no periods on this document, this is not a lawful and legal document to be docked on your vessel. Did you turn this into the Army, and is that what you were doing with that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, when you don't, were you feeling that you were threatened by this? Did they show up? Tell me a little bit
Yes.
about what's going on with your foreign vessel.
After this posting on the vessel stating that,
Well, it doesn't state anything.
no, it doesn't state anything.
You can't say that because there's no periods on the sentence structure here.
No,
There's nothing there.
No, right.
So you have something that shows up and tries to tender you nothing.
Right. Trying to tell me that they are selling the vessel. But it doesn't say anything.
It doesn't say anything.
No, but that's why I felt threatened.
Pamela, I have a question for you. Does 2 + 2 = 4?
No.
See, because 200 plus TO doesn't equal FORE. So not only were they babbling to you, saying nothing, they were giving you documents with no periods that say nothing.
Right.
Because the period stops the thought. So what you're running into are vessels coming aboard your vessels who are not demonstrating any thinking. Okay. Well, that's a good one. Okay. So that's why you went to the Army. That's why you did what you moved down the road in that format.
Yes, that's why.
Did you also, I see on the lawsuit, the Document Corporation case here today, you have the United States Postal Service. Can you tell me about that and the evidence that you would like to file with that?
Yes, they're,
Can I see the contract?
yes, the Postal Service,
Here's-
when I did the filings to the military
Okay.
for the command performance for safety, I was also sent to the postal.
Well, let's take a look. Let's look at some of this sentence structure here. Why don't we? Oh,
Well, I received yes, I did. This was sent to me
okay, yep.
by the postal
System.
system. Yes.
Okay. So, just on face value of witnessing some of the things right here, you have a cursive signature.
Yes.
This is what's known as necromancy. This is the black art of the communication of the dead. Right? This is fiction in its finest form. Okay. So this is coming at you.
Yes.
Okay. So let's take a look at some of the syntax here that is being articulated, or trying to be articulated. All right. Let's pick now here, the Postal Service is using, the United States Postal Service is using periods. Okay, but let's find out if there's any thinking going on here. Just because there's a period, there may not be any thinking aboard the vessel. So let's just pick out a sentence here. Trying to find a short sentence so we don't get right to. Let's see. Since the Postal Service is, okay, so we're gonna write down some of this forensics. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, so the sentence here that has showed up on your vessel is, since the Postal Service. Is not to the issuance. Erased. National jurisdiction.
Oh,
At this time, we're going to continue on with the evidence that Pamela is presenting here from the Basel Sue Y. Tam of the United States Postal Service, and we're going to take a look at the grammatic style of grammar that's being tendered to the claimant Pamela-Annette-Horton. So it takes a position set fact to make a condition of snow, to make a fact, okay? When you drop out the article, or the set, or the article, right? When you drop that out, the preposition becomes a modifier. Modification is change, change is motion, motion and action creates verb. So the word after it becomes a verb, right? So you would have, in this specific case, you know that does an article, but articles or sets modify pronouns backwards. But the prefix pro means no. So you have a prefixes of prefixes. So you have pro, which means no. What else do we have here for prefixes? We have un, that means no. And we have a vowel and two consonants under assist. That means no. We have disputes. That means no. And you have issues as a prefix. That means no. So you have assist, disputes, issues, and unable. So I ask you, how do you perform negative contract?
You don't.
No, you don't. So we know that the negativity here is very bad. So there's no performance here. This is a non-performing contract. So there's no cooperation with it. It doesn't have to be any cooperation with this style of grammar. So you have the adverb, which modifies the adjective in front of it. That adjective, we can place a value on. To you and I, it could be a table, it could be a chair, it could be a car. So there's no closure here. Once again, violating Title 46, Document Contract Claim, Section 1, Chapter 1, closure. What are we here for? Closure, right? This is a foreign vessel that came to your foreign vessel. We're trying to do establishment of the performance so we know what the duties are of the contract. But what we're seeing from this entity, Vasily, is a non-performing, no closure, no statement, no fact. So you're back into that negative world. We're performers. What was our oath? To perform, to give correct facts, as you gave testimony here in this forum today. So what I'm showing you is that words can be played with very easily by the location of where they sit in your structure of sentence. In your specific case and a lot of your evidence, there were no periods, so there's no thought process going on. It's just a presumption by the Bossalese, and the Bossalese in this case are Richard Galatine, Ryan Remington, Adrina Rivas, Bank of America, San Joaquin County, Steve J. Bestaleros, and the United States Postal Service. Here we're looking at their evidence here, this Sue Y. Tam. So there's really no closure here for you to perform anything. We have adverbs in front of adverbs, making verbs, negative condition of state verbs. We have past tense, and they keep calling you, they use this word you've, have, or you as an adverb, and then they even end the sentence with an adverb. They're calling you an adverb.
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, because we got an adverb modifying a verb, a 1.9 future tense, to, with no value. I'm looking for word closures on these contracts that these tenders have been showing up. Our contracts for complaint, summons, port authority, all the words have a value to them. We have a dictionary built up within the construct of our Constitution that you've given testimony here today for.
Yes.
Are there any other concerns that you have and things that you would like to bring up on your testimony? Or do you feel that you have covered what you've needed to cover?
No, I also have exception from Richard Galantine.
Oh. What's this?
Well, it was,
Doesn't say anything. Well, let's take a look. Would you like me to put this into evidence?
yes, because this was left, actually. This was left at the vessel in the postal box.
Was it opened? Was it unopened?
It was opened.
So let me get this straight. Richard Galatine placed opened mail in your foreign vessel mailbox.
Yes.
Okay. But the good news about the box is anything in the box isn't there. Okay?
Yes.
Stick to your federal styles manual. But let's take a look at this syntax here. I will definitely give you some closure on that. So. Okay, we're going to look at the caption again. Okay, again we have multiple statements that are double spaced. So you have. Let's first look at the continuance of the evidence. Okay, that must be maintained at all times. So you have the letter or the number 1. Then you've got a 4 or 5, 6 or 7 space right here saying the grantee. So it comes out to here. The grantee herein was not. It comes over to here. Herein was not. The foreseeking, is that foreseeking? The foreclosing beneficiary. Foreclosing beneficiary. Evidence here. First, we're going to try to look at the first sentence what has happened is a VC, we have a void continuance, which is a void continuance. You have a void continuance going on within this construct here. So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, what was in the past tense, not 3, 4. What was the caption on this document? The 10A caption on this document is trustee deed. Now, how did this show up in your location? You don't have a contract for any of this stuff. You don't.
No.
So, am I with the comprehension that the Vasily, Stephen J. Bestellaros, the San Joaquin County Recorder, allowed this, closed it for you, and then opened it for them? Is that what I'm comprehending on the vessel closure?
Yes, that is what happened.
Okay, okay. So, Mr. Galantine, Richard Galantine, moved forward with the county recorder, but he did not know about you. He could not have, because you were not in their journal.
Correct.
However, you were in the journal prior anything that they've done to the Port Authority
Yes.
and the postal system.
And the postal system.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So on the caption on this, we have, yeah, because you're not in, this is not even court, your name's nowhere to be found.
No.
Trustee deed. Also. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4 negative. I know I'm moving you in past tense. So this is more evidence that is 100% fiction. But there's,
Yes.
but
There's, yes, also an assignment of deed of trust.
is,
Bank of America.
oh, this is the Bank of America evidence. Oh, okay. This showed up in your vessel,
Yes.
in your mailbox.
Yes, this was in
Okay.
my mailbox.
So this whole thing, from what you're giving testimony on, is that the clerk would not dock your vessel, closed it to you,
Yes.
you logged in your vessel with the postal system, logged in your vessel with the Port Authority, and then the clerk started mailing you contracts that she wouldn't take to your foreign vessel.
Yes. Yes. And also a mortgage law firm,
Yes, Ryan Remington.
Ryan Remington
and
Adriana Rivas.
Adriana Rivas, and they
Yes.
and they mailed you stuff too?
Yes. Yes, they were also mailing
To you,
to me. Yes, to the vessel.
to the vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay, so that is in here as well.
Yes, so the court, so
No,
the
they can't.
recorder was closed, the court was closed to me, but would join with them.
Oh, so what's good for one isn't good for the other in this country?
Exactly. And
Oh, okay.
then they sent a posting that they were going to hold sale of the vessel, which is also in evidence.
Okay, so this San Joaquin County Recorder Stephen J. Bestellaros, the assessor, recorder, county clerk, is the one that's basically created the scenario of your life here.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And closing the court to me, but opening to
for others.
For others, yes, for a lot of others.
Yeah, it's actually unfair to the others as well, because
Yes.
under Rule 1 and Rule Equal, it should be fair for all.
Yes.
And so they become victims simultaneously because of the performance of non-docking your vessels by the Vasily here.
Right. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, at this time, I'm going to take no more further testimony. I'm going to make reporting and posting a summary judgment claim. I will log all of your evidence into my facts, your bills of the ladings, your closure on who was given accountability, and upon that, I will post with those Vasilis, and I will also do an educational post with the Army. And what were your concerns? Were there, because they were closing the ports to you? Is that what I'm comprehending? Is that why you were posting there, and you were feeling threatened because of that?
Yes, I had no place for
No place to
grievance.
go.
Yeah, no place to go.
Okay, okay. Well, at this time, the command that I will be giving to you is to continue in your correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, performance, and don't go back into a fiction grammar trial in these matters. Okay, stay out of any fiction trial matters that may come up in the matters of your concerns here. For this federal postal court of this corporation case number RE 946-007 424 US is with the performance at the rest.